our weekly chairman's update. A lot going on. I'm going to actually talk about two things today, so I'm going to try to split my time with you very distinctly. First, I want to talk about the three new initiatives that we're supporting. I have filed three new initiatives. These are initiatives to the people, so they don't go through the legislature. And there's a very tight window in which they could be qualified for this November's general election ballot. The three new initiatives would repeal the recently passed sort of ban on natural gas hookups here in Washington State. It was a very controversial bill that passed through the legislature, barely, bipartisan opposition, but all Democrats supported it. And it would begin the process of banning the use of natural gas in homes and businesses here in Washington State. Terrible bill, terrible idea. This initiative would repeal it. The second new initiative is something that addresses an issue very much in the news lately. It establishes that there will be no so-called squatters' rights in Washington State. It makes clear in our state law that if you're living on someone's property or in somebody's home or building and you're not paying rent and you're not a renter, you got to go. You can't claim some homestead or squatter's rights on someone else's property. And the third new initiative really addresses an issue that's been around for a long time here. It gets rid of the sanctuary state policy in Washington and says that local law enforcement in Washington State can and should cooperate with federal immigration agencies. This has come to a point just lately in the really unfortunate death of Washington State Trooper Chris Gadd, who was killed in an auto accident by an illegal immigrant here in Washington State. That's crystallized people's attention on an issue that's been nagging at us for several years. Those are three new initiatives. The mainstream media has picked up on them right away. The Seattle Times did a lengthy article describing them and the politics around them, and other newspapers around the state have picked up the story as well, which is good. I'm glad that the mainstream media is covering these policy proposals. It's also created a bit of an interesting political firestorm. The left wing is claiming, well, they don't know what they're claiming. They're claiming that this is just to stoke up outrage, because that's all they know. This is not just to stoke up outrage. These are three more initiatives that will do good things for law and civil society and public policy in Washington. So that's the three initiatives. Let's put that aside for a second. My other topic to talk about this week is the upcoming Washington State Republican Convention, the state convention, coming up starting April 18th in Spokane at the Spokane Convention Center. This is going to be a real convention, not a ceremony, not an empty exercise. This is going to be a live convention at which about 2,000 delegates from all around the state are going to vote to endorse candidates for statewide office: governor, lieutenant governor, state attorney general, commissioner of public lands, treasurer, auditor, insurance commissioner, state school superintendent, all of those positions, and there are 9 of them, as well as the U.S. Senate race that's happening this year, and then the 10 congressional races all around the state. So we're going to nominate and endorse candidates in those 20 races: 9 statewide executive, 1 U.S. Senate, and 10 congressional. It's going to be live. It's going to be real. We don't know what's going to happen. A bunch of people are saying that the state parties kind of rigged the thing and it's already set up. That's not true. We're going to set up a fair and real convention where the delegates are going to decide what happens. Now, part of this is just a wonderful, real return to real conventions where real decisions get made. The downside of it is some supporters of some of the candidates running for office have gotten very nasty in these days and the week or so ahead of the state convention. They're putting out weird emails. They are saying things on websites. They are saying things on social media that are very disparaging of other candidates. We need to tamp that down. No matter which race you're interested in, whether it's governor or superintendent of schools or public lands, we have to remember that the people in the primary, the people coming to the convention, they're all common sense conservatives. Now, their positions on particular issues may be slightly different, but we agree a lot more than we disagree. The point of doing our convention in this way, where it's a real, live, decision-making convention happening earlier in the year than it has historically, is supposed to be to bring us together earlier, not drive us apart. So please, no matter who you support coming to Spokane at the convention, if you're one of the delegates, keep an open mind and an open heart, and know that we agree much more than we disagree inside the big tent of our Republican Party. And keep in mind, too, that our goal is November. What we want is our convention and the state primary and the other activities in the election cycle to lead us to the point that our candidates are peaking at the right time. And the right time is this fall. We don't want to undermine our good candidates in a primary process. We want to help them win. And by helping them win, we all come together and support good candidates, common sense conservative candidates who will fix what's broken in our beautiful state. Let's keep our eyes on the long term, on the real prize, which is victory at the general election in November. That's it for this week. I'll talk more with you again next week, leading up closer to our state convention. And those 3 new initiatives, boy, they're going to be helping define the frame of the political debate in this state for weeks and months to come. It's a good time to be a Republican in Washington. Be well, stay strong.